All right, excellent. Well, it looks like the majority of people are joining. So with that, I'll start things off. As mentioned, my name is Austin. I'm with company YouAttest. My main job here is to make people's audits a lot simpler. Basically, we developed a tool that allows you to do cloud-based auditing. I'll get into that later, but first, I'd really love to introduce our guest speakers that we have today. We have Rae Ann Mosely and Garret Grajek. So Rae Ann Mosely has over 20 years of accounting experience, mainly with media, entertainment, broadcast industries. After 7 years at Deloitte and an auditing manager, she went into the private sector. Rae Ann served as Vice President of Business Operations for PbC most of her career, where she was responsible for due diligence analysis, operation consolidations, efficiencies and closure processes, and Sarbanes-Oxley compliance. Rae Ann holds a bachelor's degree from UCSB and is a CPA. Thank you, Rae Ann, for joining us.
No problem.
And then next we have Garret Grajek. He is a lead advisor to YouAttest. Garret is a certified security engineer with almost 30 years of experience in information security. He holds over 13 U.S. patents in SSO, 2FA, X, and mobile identity. So Garret is recognized in the industry as a security visionary in identity, access, and authentication matters. Garret was a co-founder and creator of Secure IDP, a two-factor SSO offering. He also invented the first UEBA for the endpoint based on AI called Persona for Silence. Garret, pleasure having you. Thank you so much for joining.
Absolutely. Let's get this thing going.
Sounds good. All right, so with that, let's just go over the agenda really quickly. So Garret will focus on the current industry trends, where then we'll pass it off to Rae Ann. We'll talk about PbC processes in auditing, and then I will finally bring it up with the YouAttest solution and a demo, and then finally we'll open it up to Q&A. If at any point you can't hear, you're having any sort of problems, feel free to chat me. I'll try to work on something, but let's jump into it, as Garret said.
All good. And let me get this thing, start to share.
Oh, yeah.
Rock and roll. Okay. Thanks for the introduction there, Austin. Yeah, as I said, we all had various careers when you do this for 30 years, and I've become basically a product advisor. And when Austin brought YouAttest me a little while back, I was looking at it and I go, okay, interesting space, auditing. Wow, what are the tools there? I did a little research and saw how they were done. And then started thinking, I go, okay, what is the big differentiator? And that's what I'm going to talk about here. This is what I really do like YouAttest, and I really like not only the problem that needs to be solved by software, but how YouAttest has attempted to solve it. And this will be a good talk and a good lead in then into the business problem, which Rae Ann will talk, and then the solution, which Austin will talk. Okay, first of all, the problem. Solving business problems through software. All right, that's what I've been doing the last, X years of my life, okay? You have to understand the problem, then create the solution. Understanding the problem is that people like YouAttest have to be talking to the Rae Anns of the world and say, what is the real problem? And then come up with crafting the code and the workflow and the GUIs to solve that. But the real problem I see, and this is from looking at a lot of problems and doing a lot of mistakes myself, the real problem is where people start, okay? This is where I see problems, solutions like YouAttest on the right track, okay? What I mean by that is the right track is look at the APIs, look at what's existing, and then build on top of that. You can save 90% of your, hello, can you hear me, Austin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can hear you perfectly.
I don't know why it said lost connection, but okay, all good. Just cognitive.
Thank goodness.
We all are in this world. Austin's really great idea. He's like, hey, let's have people see each other because we're all under stress right now. So you can actually see me not only mumble, but also the way I talk. Okay, so let's get back to it. APIs. This is where I, as a product developer and a product creator, I'm looking at the world and going, all right, guys, let's stop coding from scratch. Let's look what's out there and then take the business problem and plug it into the APIs. So let me give you a little history because I love history. Okay. So literally when I was in the wonderful University of Texas, I was literally the first generation to come off of the mainframes, but I learned the mainframes, but I thought about what those solutions were, and they worked. Mainframes weren't around because they were terrible. They worked around because they did solve the problem. In a nice single system, you wrote all your code into it, and you basically had a pre-built API system. That's why the mainframes worked. You had one system you could write into. And then what happened was functionality in a good way. We had a lot more business problems. And we said, hey, we can solve this HR, email, database, custom apps, all that. Why don't we come up with standalone servers? And then we can solve those business problems through each one. That was good. It aided in the rapid development of functionality. But then what happened is these products didn't communicate. This was basically the 80s and early 90s. So what we came up with is SI integration. That's really what solved it. It wasn't through any like genius technology. What is these companies that were doing audits, your Deloitte, your PwCs, your KPMGs, your EYs, they said there's a lot of business to be done here by connecting these disparate systems. Did it work? Yeah. They built great ecosystems. Was it have cons? It was really expensive, really expensive. So watch where the industry went, okay? The industry went to more intelligent tools. Remember, Okta didn't exist in the late 80s, early 90s, okay? There was no, in most of the 90s, there was no way to just cleanly do SSO across these platforms. It was with the introduction of tools like Okta, and they were forefronted by products like from Integrity. I was in a SSO product and a Ping, but Okta was the one who really stepped up and nailed this space and created solutions that started combining this. Okay, so we get a better view. Okay, it's good, but it wasn't complete. What it is you still have business problems that need to be solved. And are you going to craft those outside of your technology? Or what Okta did, which I greatly applaud, did they create APIs to say, okay, we're good. We're the best SSO player in the world. We're the best going into lifecycle management. We are that. But what we have done is we created a set of APIs that solutions like YouAttest, an identity governance platform, can focus on their functionality and just write into the existing APIs. So what you're going to this webinar is you're going to have Rae Ann talking about a business problem. What is the problem of the audit? And then what you're going to hear is Austin talk about how the functionality of YouAttest is able to handle this. But what I'm emphasizing right now is what's really cool about this solution is that it's built right on top of the shoulders of giants. So YouAttest can focus on functionality. You can call YouAttest and they say, I need to have X to Y, and they can knock it out because all of their engineers are simply focused on functionality. This part, well, let me just go back in slides because I always do that. This part is still going on, this SI integration, which using way too much dollars to meet business problems. And this is why when Austin came in with YouAttest, I was so excited. I go, the integration is 2 minutes. So therefore, people can focus on solving the business problem. Okay. That being said, let's talk about the business problem, and I'll stop sharing and take it away, Rae Ann.
Okay.
There we go. Did my magic on Zoom.
All right, let's see. Uh-oh. Am I there? Okay. There. No. Too far. Okay. Thank you for having me today. I was introduced to this product a couple months ago, and from my perspective, being in the industry of auditing, and both on the public side and the private side, it intrigued me to find something that helped with compliance for the IT department in an easy way. As we know, all systems used by a company are managed by the IT department. They are pulled in so many different directions on a daily basis. Then they get thrown in with wanting or needing to provide compliance reports relating to all these systems that the company is using. And so, and compliance doesn't just happen at a year end. Internal auditors are usually going in asking for compliance on systems. And then the external auditors come in and ask for additional compliance. And the problem with compliance is they want it as of today. They want you to show that you're in compliance with the systems and who's using them and who has the rights to them currently, not, on 12/31 or on 6/30. And so it's almost like the IT department has to stop what they're doing to provide this information in a timely manner. And as VP of Business Ops at PbC, I was kind of the go-to person. I was the person between the auditors and the team who was working on the audit. And that was the one area that I just hated to have to go to the IT department requesting information from them, especially because I knew how overwhelmed they already were with just managing current systems within the company. At least the company I was at, they were dealing with everything from phone systems to the HR systems to even our accounting system. So, it's a heavy load for them to have to take. And then a lot of times they would have to stop everything they were doing, and it would be a very manual process to provide the compliance reports that we were requesting. So when I saw this product, I thought, wow, finally something that seemed to provide them with the things, with the tools that would help them make their jobs a little easier. Of course, always, and there have been products in the past when I was there, we were always having sales pitches about different IT products that might work to help with compliance. But one of the biggest issues or barriers I think we saw as management was the budget. Everything was just so expensive, and it's not like they absolutely needed it. It would make their jobs easier, but unfortunately the manual process was more cost effective, a little bit more time consuming, but more cost effective. So, it never seemed to reach the budget to be able to provide them the tools they needed to provide us the compliance reports we needed easily. So, and then like Garrett was saying before, a lot of times it's not so easy to implement and manage. And with everything else they're doing, it would just be one more process that they would have to work on. And so it was always passed in the budget to provide them those tools they needed. And then again, this would actually help them provide compliance reports timely and efficiently. And that's what kind of intrigued me the most, is that, it's one of those things I think a lot of times we would get the IT compliance information was probably the last thing to provide because it just took them so long to get it done, or it couldn't be a priority at the time with them working on the other stuff. And so we just, would keep pushing until we could finally get it done. But it usually was something that came at the very end of the compliance work. So I think this product is definitely something that will help everybody in the long run, all the different departments pulling together to provide the information needed more timely, effectively, and efficiently. So. And that's all, unless anyone has any. I think we're doing questions at the end, so.
Yeah, definitely. That was great. Appreciate you offering that up and really setting the table. Let me share my screen so I could jump into this, but Rae Ann really highlighted it perfectly. This is about freeing up your IT department. This is about being able to have your audits in a centralized location and really not having to tie up so many resources in the process. of just performing something that really shouldn't take an entire department to have to stop what they're doing and to jump onto something new. So how YouAttest is here to help is we're here to simplify your prepared by clients. How do we do this? We allow you to centralize your audits with one tool. We optimize the delegation. So what this is we are allowing you to have that segregation of duties. We are allowing you to take managers and have them handle their individual departments. So you're not collecting all this information in one spot, just yourself, but you're having a team that is automatically being sent this, and it's really simplifying the process. That also simplifies the alerts as well, so it's easy to see who hasn't contributed their parts to the reports. And then most importantly, we generate an on-demand report free of using your IT department. This could happen if you want a report, it can be done in 10 minutes from start to finish. I'll jump into that a little bit later, but what I wanted to go over is just the importance of using a tool like this. What we're really helping you do, I mentioned it a few times, but I didn't mention the other part about risk. We are taking the process of having these manual spreadsheets out of your hands and taking screenshots of this and emailing it to the department and printing it out and sharing all these documents that really don't have any passwords protecting them or any sort of framework around them, whether that's email or spreadsheets or just manual files. We're putting them in a safe place, allowing you to see who has access to everything and who is making edits to these documents as well, and who is making edits in this entire process. So we're really helping secure the audit process while also saving time and creating a centralized area for it. So with this, the setup is really easy. What you are able to do in this process is it's just 100% powered off of Okta. So what Garret was mentioning earlier, we didn't reinvent the wheel. We didn't try to build something out on our own. We are piggybacking off of the amazing API system that Okta has already set up for us. So we're leveraging their technology and allowing you to certify, revoke, or delegate access controls to all your applications within minutes. And that is all free of any sort of on-premise software. And because of that, we're able to do it much cheaper since we're not reinventing the process. This is just a high-level overview of what it really looks like. I mentioned we're leveraging Okta's existing technologies. So right here, you can see with this simple API integration, what we're able to do is we're able to pull application assignments from within your Okta environment. We're also able to leverage with the existing connection of Okta and Active Directory. And so now we can pull information from your Active Directory groups or your Okta groups as well and allow individuals from that point to be certified too. So you can prepare these audits within Okta, within all your access control areas, and be able to do this just using one API setup, no on-premise software. And the final actual result of this are these reports. Most importantly, when you have to prepare these audits and produce it to the external auditor, you need to be able to show who has access to what. You need to be able to show, did you delegate this out to users? What was their response? What was their part in this audit? And so right here are examples of what it would look like just fulfilling a report. You can see you go through the applications by name. You can see who has access to them, at what level. And then on top of that, you can see what action was taking place. If a user wasn't supposed to have access to an application, you could document how you revoked that application access. And you could say what time you did it and have an exact timestamp on it. So Rae Ann was mentioning that normally the IT department would have to be pulled away because these are so time sensitive. But now you can do this all three of the IT department. You don't even need the Okta admin access. So this could be delegated out to whoever is responsible for these audits. They don't have to be the IT person. I'm going to jump into a quick demo on this, just showing you how easy and simple these audits are to actually complete. So this will be a start to finish. Say we need to actually perform and attest a group of users. This is the simple login right here. You'll notice we're logging into Okta as well, and that is because we're tethering the two accounts right here. We're pulling the information directly from Okta and allowing us to use it inside of YouAttest. I talked about the setup. I'll just show this really quickly. It's extremely easy. Right here, all you need to do is name your Okta integration, provide the Okta URL, and enter the API key. And that is 100% the setup from start to finish. But let's jump over to actually running and attesting to a group of users. So we'll do an application audit, and let's create a new one. So we want to see who has access to a group of applications. We'll select the API source, we'll name this, and then we'll select the due date as well. So right here, what we've just done is we're pulling all the applications from Okta, and they're being shown right here. So these are all the applications that you have access to and can go through and attest to and audit. You could either select them all, you could select just one, or you can select any combination of these applications. So we'll just select 3 right here. We'll click done. And now what this has done is it's pulled all the users from these applications, and it's showing you who has access to what. It's showing you at what level, and it's showing you if they have a group or individual assignment. So from this page, it's really simple. If you are running the audit and you have a team of managers that are also running an audit with you, to say select a group of individuals and delegate this out and have that segregation of duties. So you are no longer responsible for everyone, and you're not having to send emails out one by one saying, hey, can you verify this user? Can you make sure this? Send me back a screenshot. Let's make sure we're on the same page here. With YouAttest, it's extremely simple just to enter in the manager's email address, you click assign, and then that individual will receive an automated email saying, you need to attest for these users, this is how you do it, and this is the date that it needs to be done. So now you're having that process really simplified for you, and you're taking the headache of following up and making sure, hey, who was responsible for this on the spreadsheet? Who needs to fill out this information? So that's the excellent part. And now what it looks like to actually certify or revoke users. So here we're going to select them all and just click certify. But say we go through and we see, oh, this user right here, they have individual assignment. They no longer need access to this application. Well, we could simply select, same with this one right here, and we could revoke them from the application. So no changes have been made yet within Okta, but once we go back out to our applications audit home screen, scroll down to the campaign we were just working on, and we click execute, now these changes are being made within Okta itself. So the users that we revoked access to that application will no longer have access to this application inside of Okta. So we have just done that all free of on-premise software. And let's go into, most importantly, as I was mentioning earlier, let's talk about the final report. You could see it here. You could pull it up, and what you could see, I'll zoom in on this so you get a clear view. Once again, it shows the application name, shows the user information, their entitlements, their job description, and then we'll go over here, and it will even show the status, if it was completed, and then what was the action taken. So you get a clear, detailed, time-stamped report, and from start to finish, that took roughly about 3 minutes to just to test for a group of users right there. If this was delegated out to individual managers, they would be populated there, and you would see their name, you would see when they reviewed the application or the user access to, and then you'd also be able to see what action that took place. So it's really easy for centralizing and just compiling a very simple group of audit reports right there. And I'll jump into this really quick too, because we do have the capability to run group audits as well. This is very similar from start to finish. There's just one step different that I really want to highlight. So we'll do, say this is an Active Directory audit. Start date, we'll select there, and we'll click next. And so right here, what we are doing is a little bit different. You didn't see the drop-down list of all the applications, but here we could see where we could type in. So say we want domain admins. Let's pull up the group of users in this. And then maybe we want human resources. So we're leveraging that existing API connection that Okta has with Active Directory, and we're able to use it within YouAttest. And so right here, this just showed you the entire list of who is assigned human resources, who is a part of that group, and who's in the domain admins group. You can also see their description, you can see their job title, and so forth. That's all powered through lifecycle management. So if this is filled out, it'll be in there. And then exact process. You could go through, you could certify right here by just selecting them all, or you could revoke individual users as well. So same process, we'll go back out to the group audits, and then we'll just hit execute. And now once we've done that, we've actually made those changes within Active Directory and Okta itself. It's that simple. So we just did an application audit, a group audit from start to finish, and you saw the process is very, very quick. It's easy, so you don't need to be an IT expert to do it. And also, that was all done without having to do any sort of on-premise software. You can start doing these, running these today in a matter of less than an hour. You can be up and running easily. I'll go over to the next slide. So discussing about pricing, we have a very easy system. It's sign up by credit card. You could have monthly subscriptions, and then you can see we have a tiered discount price. So compared to the other companies out there, we offer licenses starting at $2 a license a month. So one user, one license, and it goes down from there. So it can be as low as 2 cents a user a month. This is with unlimited applications, and like I said, no long-term contracts. You could sign up for a month, run your audit, and be finished. At this point, I wanted to open up to questions and make sure that everyone's able to get those answered. So if there's anything else that Rae Ann or Garret you'd like to add, definitely feel free to do it at this time, but if not, I'll pass it on over to question time.
I think it's Q&A time before my kids kill each other downstairs. All good.
Excellent, excellent. Okay, so the first question that came in a little earlier in the presentation, and I wanted to wait before I just jumped into it. It was asking, does Okta perform IGA? So Okta's great. It's amazing. It's provided great APIs to work with, and on top of that, they are incredible with single sign-on. But one thing with the single sign-on that you're missing is that governance side of it. Although it does have the capability to have all your applications in one place and provide security for logging in, what you're missing is the ability to go in when you're asked to audit these and when you're asked to see who has what access controls. You need another tool on top of that to be able to verify that access and then revoke or certify access easily. So it's really allowing you to do that. If anyone wants to add on to that.
IGA is identity, governance, and administration. Okta has all the administration parts, the lifecycle management, et cetera. But what YouAttest provides is the SOD, the segregation of duty on the governance. Right, Austin?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
So,
it's that SOD.
Okta's access management
That's
tool.
when he showed me. I was like, this is segregation of duty. This is, you have your Okta admins, and they're doing all that stuff you need. They do the SSO, and they also can do wonderfully the administration of those accounts via lifecycle management. But what is needed is a product for the CFO group that can come in there and the auditors report to them, or for the internal and external auditors. Basically, the people creating the PbCs provided by clients for the external auditors. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. It would be a big issue if your Okta admin was doing all the reporting and wasn't delegating that out 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let me just pull up this one. So it looks like, can you report on application roles? So yes, you can report on application roles. With this one specifically, what you'll need is lifecycle management. So long as lifecycle management is enabled, you can see the roles, you can see the titles, you can see the details, and so forth. So that's a good question. Let me pull up another one over here. All right, so it looks like, can you create users in YouAttest to delegate certifications to? So we have kind of a two parts of this question that I want to really address. So yes, you can do delegation within YouAttest, and we're actually working on a feature to continue to expand on this where we are doing automated delegation. So what this means is that managers will be automatically assigned and delegated out to the users they're responsible for. Currently, right now, we have a manual process, so you populate the email field with that information, and once that is taken care of, then you're able to go and just do that one by one. But as I mentioned, version 2 of this is we are very close to finishing the automated delegation feature. Looks like we have a couple more questions. Let me just make sure we're getting these answered. All right, and while I try to pull this up, does anyone have anything else that they'd like to add to this or feel like they want to expand on?
No, I'm good. Do we want to answer
All
those offline and let people go?
Yeah, I might have to. It looks like Zoom's having a little bit of issues today, but you know, that's kind of to be expected. So I appreciate you all for joining, and I appreciate the opportunity to have Rae Ann and Garret on board. It was a really good time. It was a pleasure. I hope you learned a little bit more about this. I'm excited to read these questions and get back to you with them. If you know anyone that would like to see this, we'll be sending out a recording, and I'll make sure that that gets to you. But really, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day. I hope seeing our faces made it a little bit better. And I hope YouAttest is able to offer a good solution for you, and definitely stay safe out there.
Well, for you to make them look better, for me, they scares them. All good, Austin.
Thank you.
Good stuff. Talk to everyone.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.
Thank